Type 5,
Yeah.
the investigator. They are analytical, emotionally detached, and private. 5s are motivated by a need to gain knowledge, conserve energy. I didn't know that about 5s.
Oh, absolutely. Big
and
theme.
avoid relying on others.
Right? Self-sufficiency. Very big themes.
Describe the 5. Where do we put them in an organization?
Well, this
Data
is...
analysts?
Absolutely. But again, we want to be careful we don't stereotype
Sure, yeah.
people,
Gotcha.
right? You don't want to say, well, every 5 has got a pocket protector with pens in it, and they're all coders, and they have no friends. They go home and they do games at night online with other people,
Right.
Because they don't have to do face-to-face contact that way.
Yeah.
I mean, those are stereotypes. I mean, Bill Gates is a 5.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. And
that
they are...
makes so much sense.
Oh, yeah. Ambitious, and great pioneers, especially with the 4-wing. Great pioneers.
You think he's got a 4-wing?
I don't know.
Who knows?
I haven't done enough research into his day-to-day contact
Yeah,
with
yeah.
other people. But that company ate other companies alive.
Right.
Right.
So they were vicious in terms of their competitiveness.
Absolutely. So
Was that driven by his personality, you think?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, comes everything. That's the headwaters of the company, right?
Yeah.
So, these are people who, how when you walk into a room, you are a very sociable person, right? You get energized by being with other people, probably, right? So, but for a 5, every handshake, every conversation, everything just costs them more, particularly in the relational sphere, right? They fear that they don't have the internal resources to meet all the demands.
So they
that
have some
life...
social anxiety sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes they can be socially awkward. Very hard for them to do, small talk.
When I think of 5s, I think of professors.
Lots of them.
Do you know David Dark here in town?
I do.
Is he a 5?
No,
He's not. What is he?
he's a 9.
David's a 9.
Yeah, I had him on our show.
Boy, he's a prophetic 9.
Oh, yeah.
Strong 9.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So I think of scholars. Am I off to think of scholars when I think of 5s?
No, there are lots of scholars who are 5s for sure.
Yeah. Like Bob
because,
Woodward seems like a 5.
Yeah, because they love to research and get to the bottom of niche subjects, right?
Yeah.
So I went to a hotel not long ago, and it was a convention center where I was speaking, and there were other, obviously, events going on. One was a rare German manuscript, kind of a little convention going on, rare German manuscripts, and then a Star Trek convention. Now, you talk about a collision of worlds, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen more 5s.
Actually, I bet you a lot of the Star Trek guys went over and say, "Hey, have you seen this other German?"
But yeah, I mean,
document?"
seriously, because they get bored fast. Like once they get to the bottom of Star Trek, right?
Yeah.
And know everything about it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I got to find something else because they just hoover knowledge, man.
Yeah.
They can't get enough information.
Are they
and
able to
knowledge.
land very easily?
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, like, sometimes I think of, I think one of Jimmy Carter's, not downfalls, because I think he was a good president. He's certainly great post-presidency. But I think he was able to see things from so many different angles.
Mm-hmm.
So when you said, what do you think about this? Carter would answer, well, there's really 5 perspectives on it.
Yes. Well,
I think of Rob Bell, the theologian, the same way.
Right.
Where, Rob doesn't land a whole lot. He shares a bunch of perspectives
Well,
on
yeah,
it.
he's a 7, so he's a little bit of a butterfly.
Is he a 7?
Oh, with a 7 wing.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah, he
I
could
love Rob.
rival Bob Goff
Oh, gosh, really? All the fireworks going off at once.
all day long, man. I'm just telling you. Now, Jimmy Carter, interestingly, was a 1.
Oh, I could see that, too. Boy, his stance on
Absolutely.
Israel-Palestinian
know that-
relationships got him in trouble, and he's a reformer.
Well, because he gets down into the weeds,
He does get down into the weeds.
into the details,
Yeah.
loses the big picture, and slows everything down.
Gotcha.
Did you know, by the way, that he actually knew and sort of kept a monitor on who was using the White House tennis court at any given moment, and did they sign up?
You are kidding me. Jimmy Carter, still teaching Sunday school to this day.
You bet.
All right, Jimmy, don't let him use that tennis court.
No.
Okay, what do you do with a 5?
So, well, they love autonomy. So let's say for a
That's
3,
very interesting to know, because I wouldn't have known that about a 5. They want
Oh.
agency to be able to control their environment. And
Yeah, because they want to be able to apportion those inner resources wisely.
Gotcha.
And they want to conserve them. And if they're around too many people, for example, like in an open workspace, like that's a don't for 5s. Don't put them in an open workspace environment where they're likely to be interrupted or where people are going to expect them to do small talk, which
Because
is
they're
awkward for them.
deep down at the bottom of the sea, scrounging for treasure.
Totally.
Gotcha.
So I tell people, like, if you're incentivized by advancement or promotion or greater numbers, right, for 3s, if you want to don't waste your time on money with fives. They're minimalists. They're not really incentivized by cash as much as they are by freedom.
Wow. Okay.
Give them a project, tell them when it's due, and let them go do it wherever and however they choose.
What don't you do with a 5? What's going to tick them off? What's going to upset them and hurt their heart?
Number one, don't ask a 5 to give a presentation or a report spontaneously.
Oh, they want to prepare.
Yeah, it's called prepare and review. Review and prepare, right? Now, they can do it. Just don't ask them to do it spontaneously. I can do this too. 7s can do it for sure. 8s too. You asked me to give a presentation or a toast at a party
Got a
or something
napkin
like
on
that.
you?
Yeah. I literally wrote a book proposal on a napkin for my first book, Chasing Francis. In the meeting, like, okay, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Don't ask a 5
You
to
love
do
it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get off
But
on
fives
it.
want to review it, go over it a
Yeah,
million times.
review and prepare. I told you they value privacy, right?
Yeah.
Uninterrupted workspace. And they hate meetings. So if you have
Really? Why do they hate meetings? What do they hate about meetings?
Well, because there's lots of talking. Usually people are doing group decision process making, and they hate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's more like you better have an agenda and let them know the day before that meeting's coming. Yeah, there are some people who are like, hey, let's have a meeting, right? And, the 5 is like, let's not.
Wow.